man. Say, man. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy QUEZ the Plug, man. I'm back in on the banking, man. Today we got our NBA players getting too good at basketball by Jimmy High Roller. Me personally, bro, I think NBA players are, bro. I feel like they think they too good at basketball, bro. Load management. Feeling like they don't gotta play. Feeling like they don't gotta play defense. They can reserve their body for offense. Like, it's just things like that, bro. Players are just overly confident in their skills, so they don't try as hard anymore. And you're seeing in games today, bro, the lack of effort, bro. So I want to see what Jimmy Howard got to say. Before we get into it, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Comment how you feel about that. Do y'all think players are getting too good at basketball? Let me know. I think so, bro. I feel like players today are way more talented, but still, for some reason, players back then are better. I don't know. Let's do it.
In 1998, Michael Jordan finished his last season with the Bulls on top, as inarguably the best player in the world, with another NBA championship to back it up. And in that season, 26 years ago, Jordan averaged 28.7 points per game on 46% shooting from the field. Now,
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. These stats today will not get you MVP, bro. That just goes to show how like inflated the league is with talent and just how much there's no defense being played today, bro. It's 28, 5, and 3. I mean, those are good numbers. 45% from the field, that's kind of bad for, like, nowadays. That's not good field goal percentage, bro. There's probably about like 6 players in the NBA right now that's averaging more points and probably shooting better from the field while averaging more points.
Not only was his scoring average a league high that season,
that's
his
league
shooting
high.
efficiency was considered excellent at the time.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. Nowadays, bro, nah.
In fact, outside of a couple big men who played 5 feet out from the basket, there wasn't a single player who could compete with him as a scorer. But times have changed, because this season, there are 7 players across the NBA who are averaging at least...
That's tough. And they all shooting better from the field, too. Bro, Joel's averaging 35 and 11 this year and 6 assists. Oh my God, Joel's the MVP. I'm sorry. Joel the MVP of the league. I know y'all hate Joel. Can see a free throw mercy, but bro, come on, y'all can't. Look at the stats, bro. He the MVP this year, bro.
The numbers Jordan did in his final MVP season. Averaging at least the numbers Jordan did in his final MVP season. But there are not 7 players as good as Michael Jordan was in the NBA right now. Is there? Are the stats of today's NBA inflated? Not a true reflection of the skills and abilities of its players? Or have NBA players gotten too good at basketball? Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings.
I love you, my boy, but we ain't trying to see no ads. Let's see.
Basketball, there is one main objective.
Win.
Score more points than the other team. Sounds simple enough, but it's not. And generally, there are 2 ways you can go about this. Play stifling defense and keep your opponent's points as low as possible, or get buckets. NBA teams of today tend to lean towards option number 2. And they've gotten really good at it.
Oh my God.
Teams scoring 120, 130.
176 to 175 is OD, bro. Like, it's literally no defense being played, bro, at all. It's no way y'all putting that many points, bro. Like, what the?
They've gotten really good at it. Teams scoring 120, 130 points on a regular basis, even 140-point games, oftentimes occurring on the same night. But for many NBA fans who grew up on an NBA where point totals looked like this,
that's crazy.
Not a big fan of all the scoring. They don't like it. There's too many points, or maybe not enough defense. Stat lines like this used to have the NBA world on fire for a day or 2.
Yeah, but now it's like, bro, players put up these type of stats every night. So now it's like, okay, he put up 36, 10, and 5. And then what the next game happened, some other player can put up the exact same stats because, like, bro, ain't no defense being played, bro. And I feel like it's not even the player's fault that defense is not being played, bro. It's the refs. It's really the refs' fault, bro. You can't even touch anybody. So now it's hard for players to play defense because they're going to get called for a foul. So it go both ways.
This used to have the NBA world on fire for a day or 2, but now they're literally a dime a dozen. there's players around the league who are damn near averaging these numbers. Growing up, I would often go to Portland Trail Blazers games, and as much fun as it was to watch my home team play the most violent version of basketball possible without any real consequence, the real prize in my 8-year-old brain was this: a free chalupa from Taco Bell. All the Blazers had to do was score 100 points. Win or lose, 100 points, and the chalupa was ours. It doesn't look like much, but winning one of these felt like winning the lottery. We would get so riled up over the prospect of a free chalupa that many nights the crowd would just lose sight of the game altogether and start chanting chalupa as the score approached 100.
That's insane, bro. For a chalupa, gotta be a Cholois.
Lose sight of the game altogether and start chanting chalupa as the score approached 100. But tragically, after 14 seasons, the Blazers discontinued this delicious promotion in 2013.
Tough.
And I think it's safe to say it's never coming back. When Taco Bell first began running this promotion, the Blazers were scoring over 100 points at home about 11 times a season, or about 1 in every 4 home games. Attainable, but still rare enough to keep the thrill of it all alive. But by 2020, the Blazers scored 100 points or more in 39 out of 41 home games.
Oh yeah, that's too many. That's too many free chalupas. I ain't gonna lie.
To put every local Taco Bell out of business. Is this entire monologue really about chalupas?
No.
Kind of. But I say all of this to emphasize just how much scoring in the NBA has exploded and shows no signs of slowing down.
That is crazy. From, what do you say, 2004, whatever that year was? It went from 4, I think he said from 11 to 39. Like, that's crazy, bro.
Offenses in today's league
100-point games.
Really, really good. Back in 2015, the Golden State Warriors reshaped what a potent, efficient offense looks like and led the league that season with an offensive rating of 111.6.
Dang.
This season, that same offense would rank 26th in the league.
Oh my God. 26? The 2014-2015 Warriors?
Only ahead of 4 atrociously bad teams. A decade ago, in 2014, the league saw a combined 24 occurrences of teams scoring at least 130 points in a single game. This season, there have already been 85 occurrences of teams scoring at least 130 points.
85? We only like 25 games to the season, bro. We're not even 30 games to the season, I don't think. That's insane.
And the league as a whole
actually, we is like 30-some games because Pistons on the 28-game losing streak. But yeah, that's crazy though.
On pace to have about 265 of these games by the end of the season. That's more than 10 times more than the league had back in 2014.
Yeah, bro. Scoring is just so inflated, bro. And it's really because of the lack of defense, bro. And I feel like this lack of defense comes from the refs, bro. The way they blow the whistle, bro. It discourages players from playing defense. It's like, bro, I get fouled. I get in all these fouls. Now I can't even play. So now it's like, I got to reserve myself on defense and just try to ball it on offense.
Now, a lot of fans assume that the insane point totals we're seeing around the league today are simply a byproduct of stat inflation. The game is faster. No one cares about defense. Every other shot is a three-pointer. But it's not just inflation. Inflation would assume that it's just the volume that's changing, that there are more things happening within every game, and that's what's leading to the influx in numbers. But it's not that. Other than the dead ball era, right now is a pretty average time in the league in terms of pace and shots. It is the efficiency and simply how good players have gotten that has really skyrocketed.
That makes sense, bro. As you seen with the with that Jordan season, bro. You seen how inefficient the league was. Look now. Players is hitting shots, bro. Even the difficult shots, bro. Players are just hitting more shots now.
The dead and simply how good players have gotten, that has really skyrocketed. The dead ball era of the NBA, as the name not so subtly suggests, was an era of slow, physical, grinded out basketball, where games would finish with a final score that, without exaggeration, resemble a halftime score in today's NBA. If we look at the timeline of the NBA and the amount of points teams have scored on average over the last 65 seasons, it's not hard to pinpoint where the league came to a grinding halt offensively. This valley right here, from about 1997 to 2006, is a visual representation of just how slow and drawn out offenses became throughout the dead ball era. And thanks to new rules such as a shortened shot clock on offensive rebounds and innovations in offensive schemes, and of course the evolution of the three-pointer, offenses are now alive and well again.
That's
but
tough.
Contrary to popular belief, it wasn't just a change in the rules that favor offense that spurred this explosion in production. Players also just got better at scoring the ball. Because here's the league average effective field goal percentage throughout that same time span. For decades, the league as a whole floated somewhere between 45 and 48 effective field goal percentage. And with little change in efficiency, it was the pace that more or less dictated how productive offenses would be. But over the last decade, the league has gradually become better and more efficient at scoring the ball, reaching a league-wide average effective field goal percentage of nearly 55% over the last few seasons.
That's OD,
now,
bro.
Of course, with more threes, efficiency inevitably increases almost at a linear rate. But today's players also turn the ball over less than ever before. They shoot...
Wait, we turn the ball over less than before? That's tough, bro. I can't believe that. There's no way that's real.
Free throws better than ever before.
That makes
while
sense.
Shooting less free throws than ever before.
Less free throws? And that just blew some of y'all minds in the comments because the way players take free throws today. I mean, Jordan was taking... I mean, superstars always get the whistle, so...
Free throws better than ever before while shooting less free throws than ever before. Across the board, players are simply better now than they were in past eras. And this becomes clear when we look at the league average offensive rating over the last 50 years, even when we level the playing field and look at offensive production per 100 possessions. Today's teams are vastly superior than their predecessors.
Damn.
Just 20 years ago, teams were averaging just 102 points per 100 possessions. Today, that number has jumped all the way to 115 points. Same exact pace, same number of possessions, far more points. Now, more points from more proficient offenses is not exactly what I would call a problem. In fact, I think this brand of basketball, whether you like it or not, is the highest form of the game that we've ever seen.
Facts.
As we continue
I mean, it's all about evolution, bro. Players just keep learning and learning and learning and learning from the past. So that's why players are going to keep getting better.
Whether you like it or not,
it'll be a problem if players were not getting too good at basketball. Like, honestly.
The highest form of the game that we've ever seen. But as we continue to see the game evolve, it is becoming more and more difficult to keep the context of what we're seeing intact. Luka Doncic is a generational talent, one of the best players in the world.
Facts.
And 20 years ago, Tracy McGrady was one of the best players in the world, with a similar status among his peers. Except, in his prime, McGrady's numbers looked like this. And over the past 5 seasons, Luka's numbers look like this. Is Luka really this?
29, 8 and 8, 59% true shooting percentage? Oh my God. Luka's OD, bro. He's OD.
5 seasons, Luka's numbers look like this. Is Luka really this much better than a prime Tracy McGrady was? Or has the game and its players evolved to the point where stats have almost become some arbitrary measure of a player's ability, where without context, they are almost meaningless? Now, some of you may be saying, well, this isn't a fair comparison. Tracy hit his prime in the dead ball era. Teams and players in general put up less numbers. Well, here are their stats when we adjust them to be the same exact pace and the same number of possessions. And still, it's only when we factor in the rule changes, the spacing, the schemes, the drastic change in overall league play style that we can even begin to get the full picture.
Well, me personally, I feel like Luka's going to be better than prime Tracy McGrady. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like Luka can easily be a top 10 player of all time, bro. Luka's like that, bro. He got the skills. He a dog. Once he start winning, there's gonna be no more excuse for y'all to say about Luka, bro. Only excuse is he hasn't won anything yet.
League play style that we can even begin to get the full picture.
And Tracy ain't won nothing,
which
so
kind of defeats the simplicity of a box score altogether. Or what about De'Aaron Fox? Fox is a great player, but the 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists he's averaging right now on 58% true shooting is a historically great stat line. In fact, it's so great that if we exclude the last 5 seasons, the only guards in the history of the league to average these numbers in a season were James Harden, Michael Jordan, and Stephen Curry. Are the number
that right there shows how much stats nowadays it matters, but it matters to a certain extent, bro. Because De'Aaron Fox is nowhere near these players' level at their prime. James Harden, De'Aaron Fox is nowhere near that level. Jordan, we don't even gotta say too much. Nowhere near that level. Prime Curry, like Curry in his prime, like no.
Were James Harden, Michael Jordan, and Stephen Curry. Are the numbers simply deceiving us? Or is De'Aaron Fox really this special? 10 years ago, in 2014, guess what LeBron James and Kevin Durant had in common? They were the only 2 players in the league to average at least 25 and 5 a game that season. 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists used to be sort of a standard for a fantastic all-around player. In today's league, there are 16 players around the league averaging at least 25 and 5. How exactly do we reconcile
the fact that LeBron and KD is still doing it is crazy. Crazy. 10 seasons later, bro.
The fact that what used to be a threshold reserved for mega offensive talent is now just another stat line. And this is happening all around the league right now. Tyrese Halliburton is averaging 26 and 12 on 66% true shooting this season.
Oh my God.
A stat line that has never been achieved in the history of the league. Are there really this many generational talents in the NBA today? Or has offense just become diluted? Well, I actually think these massive numbers are a product of both of these factors.
Yep, but it makes it both.
Stemming from the other. There is so much talent and firepower in the NBA today that getting good looks and getting them quickly has actually become fairly easy. Sure, there's essentially 8 more possessions a game in today's league compared to the previous era, and those extra possessions are driving numbers up a bit. But does anyone stop to consider why there are more possessions? Games have been sped up because no longer are teams running 20-second offensive sets and eating up the clock to find a good open look. This drives up the number of possessions each game, and those possessions just feed the loop even further.
That makes sense, bro, because I'll be watching them old school games, like the old Larry Bird, Michael Jordan clips, bro. They literally be using the whole 24 seconds to score, bro. Just running sets for an open mid-range shot or a backdoor cut or something. Like, it's crazy to watch the difference in play today. Back then it would just be one player isoing and everybody else would just be sitting in the paint. I ain't gonna lie.
Up the number of possessions each game, and those possessions just feed the loop even further. Great offense leading to quick possessions, leading to faster games, leading to more points. Defense today isn't terrible. Players have just become too good at offense. Offense has been the driving force and the primary emphasis on the league for a decade now.
That's also a point I didn't make. Players are so good on offense, it's hard to play defense, especially with the refs. It's hard because players are so good. You know how to manipulate the defense and the refs to bend in their favor.
Offense has been the driving force and the primary emphasis on the league for a decade now. And over that decade, the game has evolved, and so has its players, with play styles tailor-made to wreak havoc on defenses. Over the years, great offensive players have proven that once your offensive game gets to a certain point, there's only so much a defense can do to slow it down. And instead of there being a handful of these unstoppable offensive players in the league at any given time, like we saw in previous eras, there are now dozens of players of this caliber all around the league. In the 90s, it was Jordan, Malone, Hakeem, D-Rob. Not just good offensive weapons, but truly elite. In the 2000s, it was Kobe, T-Mac, Shaq, Iverson. The 2010s had LeBron, Durant, Harden, Curry. But now, in the current era of the NBA, these elite offensive weapons are everywhere. Embiid, Luka, Giannis, Shea, Durant, Fox, Curry, Booker, Mitchell, Tatum, Jokic, Trey, Halliburton, Maxey, LeBron, Dame, AD, Edwards, Kawhi, PG, LaMelo, Brunson.
Damn, Anthony Edwards' stats low-key's not that good this year. I thought his stats was better than that.
Maxey, LeBron, Dame, AD,
24 and 5 assists.
Edwards, Kawhi, PG, LaMelo, Brunson, Kyrie, Sabonis, all of them legitimately unstoppable offensive talents.
Bro says Sabonis.
Kyrie, Sabonis. All of them legitimately unstoppable offensive talents from night to night. And that's just the highest tier. It doesn't even include guys like Morant, Zion, Bane,
Bro didn't say Ja? Hey, you tripping, gang.
Ingram, Cam Thomas, Randall, Jaylen Brown, Kat, Sengun, Scotty, Garland, Paulo, Siakam, Butler, Mikal Bridges. The league is more talented now than ever before. So how do you stop all that talent? You don't. You just try to keep up. Between a massive change in the way young players are being taught to play the game, to new advanced analytics that have opened the doors to the best statistical options for teams around the league, to advancements in health and training regimens that have allowed older players to be at the top of their game longer than ever before.
Like I said, bro, it's just evolution, bro. It's just evolution. Players are going to keep getting better. Technology going to keep getting better. So, like, it just goes hand in hand. That's what back then players like Bird, when they was getting hurt, it wasn't much they can do, bro, but just play through it. So, of course, that's going to shorten their careers.
That have allowed older players to be at the top of their game longer than ever before. All factors building up to what has become the most loaded pool of talent in NBA history. But how do we know when it's gone too far? Look up just how much teams are scoring these days, and you'll also be met with a slew of angry fans, mourning the loss of the game they once loved. After the dead ball era, the league has taken so many steps to boost offense that maybe they've overcooked the recipe. Maybe there's too much offense in today's league. But is all of this offense artificial? A product of rules that simply push for more offense? Or have the skills and small nuances used by offensive greats in the past been optimized and perfected in players of today? Were defenses bad for letting Michael Jordan average 30 a game in a league where entire teams only average 90? In arguably the toughest time to score a bucket, Kobe scored 81 points on the Raptors.
That's tough.
Was that team simply the worst defensive team of all time? Or was Kobe just that unstoppable offensively on that night? Good offense will almost always beat good defense. And right now,
I mean, I guess that's true.
There's a whole lot of good offense in the NBA, and it's not a bad thing. In fact, it is a reflection of just how much better players have become and how the game has evolved. The only real downside to all of this, no more free chalupas.
Nah, great way to end the video, I ain't gonna lie. But I ain't gonna let you in the comments what y'all think. Are NBA players getting too good at basketball? Me personally, I think they kinda are. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that, man. But like, comment, subscribe. We out. See you on the next one. Road to 4K.